Hey everyone, it's me, Legendary. Today we're back with another episode. In this episode, we're going to be using an Expo Mortar deck. It's been one of my favorite decks of all time, and I've used it to get all the way up to 4,400 trophies. So now, let's hop into some gameplay. Alright, so for this very first battle, we're facing a Royal Giant deck. Now, usually for siege decks, Royal Giant is a really big problem. However, for this one, we've got 2 siege cards, and usually Royal Giant is a lot easier to deal with. Alright, so here he places an RG behind the King's Tower, so I immediately place my Mortar, because the Royal Giant's actually pretty expensive. So now that he spent all of his elixir defending my Mortar, I can safely place my Inferno Dragon without worrying about it being zapped away or something like that. So here, we pretty much dealt the same amount of damage to each of his towers, so that's a decent start, I guess. And he even has to end up, actually no, he ignores my Inferno Dragon. So here, he could have placed the Royal Giant in front, but instead he doesn't, and I end up just logging it. And now, I'm pretty sure he's pretty much cycled back to his RG by now. He places a Royal Giant in the back, and not a Royal Giant, Ice Wizard in the back. I place down a Mortar, and he actually decides to counter that with his own Royal Giant. So that means I do not have to worry about his push. And also, something I can do in double elixir time is after the Royal Giant goes down, I can place down an Expo, which is actually a very interesting play. No one expects it, and a lot of times it catches people off guard, and the Expo or the Mortar ends up dealing a ton of damage to the tower. And plus, all I have to do is bring it down to cell cycle range. Having 3 spells in this deck, it's pretty easy to cycle your spells really quickly. So here is a Royal Giant push here. I actually quite like how he zapped my Inferno Dragon, because that just means he can stall my troops more so I can have a bigger push. So here, I have a pretty big Expo push. I got the Inferno Dragon for tanks, Boulder for tiny units, and here we have the Expo locked onto the tower. So here, I take out the Valkyrie, and as soon as I realize that this push is safe, I place down a Mortar on the other side. This is why I love this deck. And the Mortar gets locked out of the tower. So here, Inferno Dragon for the Valkyrie, and then I place down another siege card, the Expo, and here he has nothing to do. He can't do anything about this. I have the Rocket, I have the Expo, he has nothing to do. The Expo takes out the second tower, so that's a 2-0 victory over a Royal Giant deck, so good game. Alright, so for the second deck, we're going to be facing a Giant Beatdown deck, and it actually has some of the pretty traditional original cards. And what I'm going to show in this replay is how easy it is to overcommit with this deck, and you can actually lose because of that. So here, I have Mortar. It's a pretty good start. He has nothing to counter it with, and so I just try to log out the Princess, and I place down my Inferno Dragon to deal with the Giant and arrows on the minions. So, a pretty good start, I would say. But, and he also has to deal with the Inferno Dragon, which he ends up just zapping, so it's not really a big deal. So, in my opinion, that's actually a pretty good start. Both his towers have about 2,000 HP on it. So here, right as he places down a Sparky, I don't know why, I probably should have just rocketed the Sparky, but I decided to play down an Expo, and I was too greedy. And then I rocket the Sparky. That's another really greedy play. And here he has the 2 Barbarians and the 3 minions on the tower, and that just completely destroys it. And I'm halfway through the battle, and I'm already 1 tower down. So here I try and come back, obviously, log the Princess, and I place down a And then I believe I placed down a mortar to try and snipe the other tower. So we're both just saving up. Yeah, mortar goes down, but he's already taken one tower, and once a tower is down, it's insanely hard to come back, because the X-bow or mortar that you have to place is, you can place troops on top of that, which makes it really difficult. So here he's got the giant and the minions, and he has the barbarians on the king's side. So this is just a really big problem. Plus the Sparky's just gonna splash away everything, and I'm at such a big elixir deficit that I really have nothing to deal with it. The rocket takes out the Sparky, but this deck cycles really quickly. When I think I have something going on with the mortar, it just still gets taken out by the giant. I have nothing to counter it with. Let's see, I throw down a panic X-bow, but nope, his deck just cycles way too quickly. He's already back to his giant. So we got 10 seconds left in the battle. I'm just trying to stop him from getting a 3 crown, and as the battle wraps up, I got too greedy at the beginning, and that resulted in me losing. So for this final battle, we're going to be fighting a hog baity kind of deck, and this deck has 3 spells, so and a bowler, which makes it really difficult for the bait decks to actually win against me. So here he actually has a pretty good start. His tiny push deals over 1,000 damage to my tower, and here he has a Hog Goblin gang push to deal with my mortar, which negates all the damage except for 1 mortar shell. So here I just let the Electro Lizard do its thing, and I begin to, and then I think I place down an X-bow, yes, and that gets countered by the Inferno tower. So pretty much that's actually a positive elixir trade on his part, so very well played on him. Alright, so here I'm kind of just getting ready for a mortar push. He uses his skeleton army, so now I don't have to deal with that. He has all cheap squishy cards, so he has nothing to play for the mortar. Goblin gang gets destroyed by the mortar, and the bowler. And now he has, I have kind of a misplay here. I should have waited a bit before to play on Mega Minion, but the mortar dealt quite a bit of damage to the tower. And so here I try and use the Inferno Dragon to distract, but one of the Electro Wizard bolts still got onto the tower. So far, the battle hasn't been looking very good, and well, we got 1 more minute to bring things back. Alright, so here, the bowler, I'm getting ready for the X-bow. So I place on the X-bow, but I don't know why, but the Inferno Tower decided to go for the X-bow instead of the bowler. So he counters that very well. And here, I decide to reset and place down a defensive mortar. And that actually counters all of his splash cards very well, so he really doesn't have anything to play. So see, here he has a skeleton army, it just gets splashed away by the mortar. I arrow the goblin barrel, and finally I'm back with the X-bow, and this time I'm ready for the Inferno Tower. I put the Inferno Dragon in front. Inferno Dragon and mortar and bowler and X-bow takes out the Inferno Tower. Bowler and the log takes care of everything else. These 2 bowlers just will not let the hog pass. And here, 2 seconds left, and the X-bow will take the tower for the win. And I placed down a mortar there just for some extra fun. Alright guys, so that's gonna do it for this episode. If you want to see me do more trophy pushing videos with this deck, please be sure to leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to my channel. Again, this has been Legendary, and I'm signing off.